What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. We're here to talk about my Boston Marathon experience. The first time I tried to race a marathon, a lot went on, so stay tuned for it. And for those who are new, welcome to the channel. Hellahgood here. I've been running every day since 2017. Ran across the United States, LA to New York City. I've been keeping this streak going on. I ran a 100-mile race last year. About to do my second 100-mile race coming up in June, the Western State 100. And now let's talk about Boston Marathon, baby. I believe the average person can complete this marathon with proper training. You must train. If you just get up and go run, I don't know, because even with me with training, I felt it, but the training helped me get through the race. The way I went into 2019 New York City Marathon, if I did the same thing for Boston, I think I would have had much worse time than I did in New York, and that was miserable. And I said, yes, you can do this as an average person, but with proper training. The next day, it felt good to keep my streak going because in my mind, even though I ran my PB, I was happy, but there was some lack of satisfaction with this. So me going out to run was like, okay, Hella, you are good enough. You can do hard things, even though your legs are beat up, your legs are tired. So mentally, it was very zen for me, but also the streak is so important to me. I felt so good that my leg can actually run at the rate that I did. So I was like, okay, the streak is alive. I feel fine. Yes, I feel a little bit of pain, a little bit of soreness, but it felt great overall. So mentally, it was something that I needed, and also something as a priority, like maintaining a streak. It was a win-win situation. So it was a beautiful run the next day. The atmosphere of Boston is amazing. It's incredible. But this is personal opinion. Comparing it to New York City was a party. It was just like, I felt like New York City was like anybody was like, this is New York City Marathon, let's come and party. Partying meaning we're having a good time, hoping that energy translates to the runners. With Boston, I felt like it was more of like people who were really into running, so they were cheering. And I was so trying to be in the zone. I was just trying to be in the race zone because this is business for me. I heard the noise and everything, but it didn't really affect me in a way where I assume it would. It didn't give me extra boost, and it didn't take anything away. So I was just trying to figure out in my mind how to get in that race zone as I did by myself when I went on the marathon course to run by myself, and I was having a tough time finding it. So I heard the noise, but I didn't really soak it in as much as I should have. So New York was a party. Boston, the support was definitely there. The scream tunnel, really, oh my goodness. When they say the scream tunnel, I see why. You imagine a tunnel of screaming. It's not even a tunnel, but it feels like that. The people from Wellesley College was just like, oh my, I can't wait to get out of here because my ear is actually hurting. So that was actually insanely loud. I ran the Boston Marathon at 3 hours, 1 minute and 34 seconds. I cut off 36 minutes and 52 or 51 seconds from my marathon PR. So it was a huge cut in PR because I trained, and it was just, I couldn't, the fact that I was even short than the goal that I had in my mind. But even coming in, I was like, no matter what happened, I know I'm gonna set a PR. So that felt good, and it really proved it to me with the proper training, we can do amazing things. So I'm even more encouraged to get back out there for redemption, y'all. I drank basically every few water station and Gatorade. So I was training with the exact Gatorade they had on the course during the prep, and I had 4 gels. So I had gels from Morton. I had the regular non-caffeinated, and then the second one I would be caffeinated, and I'll alternate between regular and caffeinated. So I had 4 gels, and I was drinking Gatorade and water. So I made sure that I was on top of that, even though many times I didn't feel like I needed it, but I wanted to make sure that I don't be depleted. So I had to make sure I was on top of my nutrition, and I felt fine nutrition wise. Everything was hitting. The gels were hitting my system. I can just feel it. The water, I felt hydrated. Everything was just great in terms of nutrition and drinking. The part that was mentally hardest for me was toward the very end, when you are pretty much done with the hardest part, Heartbreak Hill, which I was telling myself, hell, it's only Heartbeat Hill. I'm about to go run 18 miles, yo. 15 marathon pace. Heartbreak Hill. Heartwarming Hill. Heartless Hill. No, wait, what is it? What was the thing? Heartbeat Hill. Fun Hill. It's not gonna break me. And these little rolling hills just sneak up on you. Yes, the rest of the races we say it's downhill, but those little ones that came to me was really frustrating because I would get into my groove, and then my groove was just enough to keep me in the 6-minute mile pace, and then that hits me, and I literally can't go faster than that, and I get slower. So those started even adding a little more time to the time that I wanted. So mentally that was really tough for me, and I just literally decided to just let go, and the mantra became finish the race strong, Hella. Finish it healthy and strong. No matter what happens, you are feeling stronger than you did in 2019. You are doing your best. So it was finish strong when things got tough. The thing that surprised me about this experience was marathon blues. I never had that. all the race I've done, I was around the time I wanted, and I didn't care if I missed that because I wasn't going in with that mindset that I won with Boston. And I couldn't stop thinking how much close I was to the time that I wanted, and I didn't get there. And it was just coming at me at a rate that I never expected. And I think about all the training I went through, everything I had to sacrifice, and then to start thinking, man, now I didn't get the time, even though I PR big time, but I was actually not far away from the goal time that I wanted to have. So it was one of the things that really got to me. And as positive as I am, I had to keep telling myself it's okay. And it'd be a couple days, 3 days, 4 days, we're talking about a whole weekend. And it was really chewing me in a way, because I tell myself now, if I want to do something like this, I got to go through the cycle I just went through, and nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. You might have to go through this again. So I really understand how tough this is, and running is an area where I escape from being sad, makes me happy. And now there's an area within running that can bring you back. So it's something that we're using to escape something bad, but also it could be something that can bring you back to that. So you really have to be careful how you go in. And I had to self-talk to myself and then remind myself there's ups and downs. It's what we do it when we're down to get ourselves back up. On that note, huge shout out to Audible for sponsoring this video. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's very important to pay attention to our mental health just in regular life, and especially also in running the sports that we all love here on this channel. A lot of you already know I've been using Audible throughout my running journey. When I'm alone, I want to listen to stories. Keeps me entertained through the good times and the bad times. New members on Audible can get 30 days for free. I'm going to leave a link and a code below for you to text. I want to recommend a book for you if you do that, The Power of Positive Thinking. I needed to listen to that book because it reminded me how I can think positively and how I can use some of the things that did happen to me that's making me go back in this marathon course to relive it, to trying to see what could I have done better. And it made me realize that you did what you can do. Dwelling on it is not going to help me. So I'm using this book to really think in the most positive way, because tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new opportunity to reach what I want. Mental health is something that we should never take for granted and never take it lightly, because we all go through it. There's different levels of it. So make sure that you see the right people that can help you. Make sure you speak up. You're not alone in this. Please see the right people. Seek help. We're all in this together. Thank you, Audible, for sponsoring this video. Appreciate y'all. The pace that I started at the first 1 to 10 mile was around 6.5 to 6:40s. So the first 5K actually was like 6:34, 6:35. And then when I got to the first 10 miles, it was around like the 6:40s average, high 6:40, 6:45, 6:46. And I felt that I went a little slower than I should have. It wasn't that I didn't have it in me. I was holding myself back a lot at that point. And now thinking back, maybe I should have let go. See, this is what the marathon do to you. It makes you think back. I'm very happy with my performance, but I'm not satisfied, if that makes sense to you. I'm happy because this is the fastest I've ever ran in my life for 26.2 miles for any distance that distance. So I'm so happy about it. But I'm not satisfied because I know I have more in me. I know my capability. During the marathon prep, I was able to run marathon pace on the course 2 different occasions. I know it wasn't the whole 26.2 miles, but it was a chunk of the race. Even if I were to hold the same pace for that chunk of the race and the rest went a little slower, I'm thinking I'm gonna hit around the goal time that was in the back of my head. So yes, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can be happy and still want more at the same time, especially if it's healthy, because you're trying to push yourself to a different level. You're trying to progress. You're trying to move on. You're trying to one up again. That's how we become the best version of ourselves. I only give high fives with the Hellahgood run family that was in the course running along next to me. A lot of fist bump, a lot of high five. And the reason I didn't give the high five, there's plenty of high fives getting sticked out on the side, but I was in the zone. I was trying to keep my form, my aerodynamic, and to me, it was race. It was a race. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, to train for a marathon, to want to race it to my best ability. So I wasn't trying to purposely ignore people on the side, but it would have made me shift from being where I'm at to get closer to people, to high five, and maybe those energy could have rubbed off on me. But zero high five with along the people on the side. But I did point at them, hey, I see you, appreciate you, peace and love you guys. But the high five and the fist bump was fellow runners next to me. They were close, high five, fist bump. So a lot, and that's part, but zero on the side. Pre-marathon is like my typical day, even at home. We're about to run day 2,173 consecutive days. I eat oatmeal. Oatmeal makes me feel full. I feel energetic, so I had a bowl of oatmeal, and it was about 1.5 cups. I had that, and I was drinking my water and electrolyte. And right before the race, I had Tri-Fuel. It's just carbs and electrolyte mixed in one drink. I drank that literally 30 minutes before I hit the start line. So that was my typical fuel when I go on a workout during the prep, and I did the same exact thing on a race. And I felt like I was full. I felt energetic in terms of food. I never felt like I was depleted because there's not enough food or nutrients in me. I felt good in that area. So maybe try some oatmeal. You can never go wrong with it. Rocket X2, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, thank you, Hoka. Please keep this energy going. Please keep this momentum going. The Rocket X2 was something we really needed as an Hoka athlete, because I can't wear any other shoes besides Hoka. There's so many incredible shoes there, but in terms of racing, I was a little bit nervous about what shoes I want, because I wanted something that had the bounce in it, that had the energy return. The Rocket X2 was the real deal. I was so comfortable, and I felt the bounce even through the very end of the race. The bounce felt like it was very new, like I just slipped the shoes on. I never got used to it. It was so comfortable. I had 0 blisters. It was wet. It was raining. My feet wasn't sliding in the shoes. There was a little less grip because it was wet on the bottom. So I feel like most super shoes are not as grippy because they're trying to make it as light as possible. The only flaw, if I had to give one with the Rocket X2, it was a little slippery because it was wet. It wasn't as much grippy as a dry ground, but that shoe was everything. I saw so many Rocket X2 on the course. I was so hyped. I didn't see that when I went spectate other marathons. You would see some Hoka, it would be different kinds of Mach and Carbon X3s, but the Rocket X2, there were so many people wearing it. I'm like, yes, Hoka, you're doing something right. And yeah, you see other shoes like the Nikes and whatever, but Rocket X2, you made a statement on the marathon course, and I absolutely loved it. And if you had tried it, please let me know in the comments below. I want to know your thoughts. I had 4 watches on along the course, and I just did a video on which was more accurate compared to the chip time, because it's really tough to say which is better. But what marathon have you had 4 different watches during the same race, the same weather, the same cadence, the same corners that you're cutting all together compared to a tracker? And I think that's never been done. I may be wrong, let me know, but I think this is why I was so excited to have 4 watches on the course. For those who don't know, I wear 4 watches because I test them. So this was a perfect opportunity to test this against the chip, everything. Because if I were to do the same marathon next year again, I'm not gonna have the same temperature, the same weather. I'm not gonna have the same tightness when I'm curving, being on the same side of the route. I won't be able to mimic the exact way to compare. So this is perfect opportunity. I wore 4 watches to share this with the hard piece and the tracker for the marathon for y'all to see. So check that out. The weather wasn't ideal. It wasn't great, but the thing is, it never bothered me. So I have no excuses about the weather. It rained, it was drizzling, it was coming down hard at one point, it slowed down. In the very end, it was coming a little bit, and as soon as I finished, it just poured on us like, wow, the hardest of the rain that came on us. But it never was something that bothered me. So I can't even say the only thing I can make a case about it was like my footing wasn't as grippy. It was a little slippery. So my stride landing, I was almost babying the landing of my stride. Maybe that's why I said I was stuck at a pace I couldn't get out, because I wasn't comfortable to kick hard or land in a certain way because I didn't want to slip. But besides that, I didn't think the weather was a factor at all. In fact, I don't even remember it being that much of a bother. It just felt like you're getting water on you, you're getting wet. That's all it was for me. I don't know if I would do anything different, but if I had to change something up, I'm gonna change my mindset going into every workout of being as nervous as I did. I'm gonna go in there like, you can do even better than that, hell. Instead of be like, oh, can I do this? Until I go do, I'm like, oh, actually I could do this. Don't be that nervous, and I'm nervous. I would just go in with the mindset that you could do it faster than that, but don't try to go all out and overdo the speed that set out for you to do that day. But just know you can do even better than that. So I would just change my mindset a little bit, because this was new to me. It was making me nervous because I've never done something, an expectation for myself only, that I wanted to make sure I prove myself right. But sometimes we have these expectations we set out for ourselves, even though it's personal, it's not outside world. It's okay if we don't hit it, but I would go out with a mindset of like, you know what, you're stronger than you think you are. And I always say that. So I just have to live harder on that side of things. The thing is, this race, as tough it was, I did not feel like I hit any wall. Maybe I was delusional. I didn't even know I was on Heartbreak Hill until I saw a sign say, you summoned it, Heartbreak Hill. I was like, oh, we're done. I thought it was just still part of the Noon Hill before we get to Heartbreak. So in 2019 New York City Marathon, I was like, oh, this is the wall. I couldn't pick my legs up. I couldn't wait to be done with this race. And that was at mile 19. And I'm telling myself, man, you guys still 7.2 miles to go, Hella. How are you gonna do this? This race, I never felt like that. I never felt weak. I felt that there's certain times it was harder to battle the hills. I was a little slower, but as soon as I got over that, I was fine again. I was just stuck in this pace, which I still don't understand. Does that mean I was overtrained, or does that mean that I missed the day where I had the best fitness in me? That could be a case, but I never felt that I hit a wall. So to tell you guys, when I'm saying this, there's no really excuses for me to have for you. It didn't go as planned, but I never hit any wall. And I was so happy. This is what fitness is. When you're fit, yes, you're gonna have a tough time, it's gonna be hard, but you get to battle through certain areas physically and mentally that you never think that you could do it. That's what fitness is to me. Ooh, why'd you do this to me? Trail, ultra, or road marathons? This is tough, but I got the bug for the road marathon right now because I really think that mentally and how I've run across America and all those have really set me to play the game of trail and ultra marathon right, to finish it strong in a way where I'm not too destroyed, where I'm not too slow to not hit the cutoff time, which going into Western State 100, I'm going to try to push the limit a little more to see how that is. But until then, I'm going to say road marathon right now because I'm like, I can't wait to have another chance at this. I can't wait. So I don't want to like overtake that mindset and forget about Western State and not prepare well for that because I feel like that was happening to me. So let's focus on Western State right now. But right now, I'm picking the road marathon because unfinished business, y'all. Kobe Bryant, may you rest in peace. He said it. Is the job finished? The job is not finished, y'all. So road marathon, we're still coming for you. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you Audible for sponsoring this because I absolutely love Audible. I use it all the time. So it just like, it's Audible, y'all. But let me know what y'all think and let me know if you've decided to listen to any of these books and tell me your opinion. And remember again, seek help. You are important. We're all important. We all go through tough times. See the professionals and also keep chasing your dreams no matter the circumstances. You can do it. With the right mindset and hard work, anything's possible. I love y'all. Let's get it because I'm coming. Let's go.